Welcome back. Prince Harry has accused the royal family of withholding information from him on day 2 of the hearings into his phone hacking lawsuit.
Let's bring in royal commentator Victoria Arbiter, who's with us in the flesh, and we are very delighted to have you here.
Morning.
Victoria, tell us about this. This is the first time we've heard these sort of allegations. What is he saying?
Good morning to both of you. And yes, I'm thrilled to be with you in studio. These are quite startling claims and actually quite bold claims as well. So as you mentioned, yes, we're on day 2 of this preliminary hearing. This hasn't even gone to trial yet. The judge is just trying to determine whether it needs to go to trial. And as part of the documents that have been lodged and as part of his witness statement, Prince Harry has suggested that the institution, he refers to the institution a lot, which by extension means the royal family, withheld information from him relating to phone hacking charges, and more importantly, that they made a deal with Murdoch's newspaper group that they would not sue or bring any kind of legal action against the group. That's a very stunning claim. Now, I don't know what evidence there is there to support that claim, but Harry wouldn't say something like that, I wouldn't think, without there being something to back it up.
Well, he's saying all this has come to light for him because he's taken on his own legal team now and he's been able to dig up some information that he wasn't able to previously. Are these accusations damaging for the royal family, do you think?
Well, they can be, but then we have only to look back to understand what's happening now. And as much as Harry is suggesting this, that the royal family have said, never complain, never explain, never take legal action, when you look back over the last 30 years, they've taken legal action on a number of occasions. In 1990, Princess Margaret's son even went to trial against the now defunct Today newspaper, and he won a claim for libel. But in 1993, the Queen sued the Sun for printing excerpts of her speech ahead of time. She was planning to sue them after a photograph of Sarah Ferguson was stolen. Diana started legal action against the Mirror in 1993.
So this isn't unusual.
It's
not without precedent.
Unusual, exactly.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you a question too? When he's talking about, you know, the institution, I mean, often we talk about the royal family, but there are all the courtiers and minders and people who are running the publicity and the PR around them. Yeah. Is he perhaps referring to them?
I'm so glad you asked this question because, yes, you get the sense that when Harry is writing about the institution in his book or talking about on Netflix, he's talking about the men in grey suits, which Diana referred to. But what he's failing to mention is that all of those people, they were beholden to the late Queen. No decisions were made without going to the Queen or going to Charles first. So, yes, she was taking guidance and advice from those people surrounding her, but the Queen was no fool, and ultimately the buck rests with her.
OK. How long is he planning to stay in the UK for on this trip? And do you think it's likely that he will see any family members while he's in town?
Well, they've already made it quite clear that he won't be seeing any of the immediate family members, and by immediate I mean his father and his brother. William and Kate are away with the children for half-term. Charles starts a state visit to Germany Wednesday, so it's only Tuesday night in the UK. He was, of course, supposed to be in France, but Harry has not seen him and there are no plans for them to meet. It's possible he'll see Eugenie, his cousin. They're very close. In terms of how long he plans to stay, this hearing is supposed to last for 4 days, so it should be all wrapped up by Thursday. I would imagine he'll be on a plane back to the States, and then the questions still linger about whether or not he'll be back for the coronation, which is less than 6 weeks away.
And he still hasn't responded to this yet. And that was the thing, is like this RSVP that seems to be long lingering. I mean, he just needs to click a button, I'm sure, on the email.
He does, and this doesn't do him any favours either, because the longer he and Meghan draw out this will they, won't they, the more the speculation ramps up. So every single day there's another daft claim about some demand or other they're supposed to have made. It's unsubstantiated. But until they say, yes, we're coming, or no, we decline, the speculation's going
Allow me to be conspiratorial because you're here in the first Let's do this. Let's talk about the fact he talks about the institution, he talks about that sort of stuff as well. Can we suggest that perhaps they have already suggested that they are coming, but because the institution wants to keep the muddy the waters in the media, that they're saying, oh, no, we haven't heard from Harry yet?
It's possible, but I just think
I just wanted to try that out.
I know, you want to try. Look, anything's possible when it comes to it. And part of the problem that makes it so difficult to talk about is we just don't know until there is official confirmation. But having studied the institution of monarchy for as long as I have, having grown up around it, they're not interested in pulling the wool over people's eyes. It simply doesn't benefit anyone.
Right.
So if Harry and Meghan have decided to go, then Charles would be in favour of saying, great, then let's put this speculation to bed. They are definitely coming. But I think at this point, Harry and Meghan still hold the guards in that regard.
OK, but so in Harry's book, in his TV interviews, he's at pains to point out that he wants to make amends. He wants to repair that rift between himself and certainly his father. If he doesn't turn up to the coronation, what does that mean for him and his place in the family?
It certainly suggests that relations are still very, very poor if he doesn't come. Now, I think what's interesting about him being in London this week is a lot of the speculation surrounding him not attending the coronation is related to his security concerns. But he's just shown up in London without anybody knowing, and he appears to be perfectly safe, touch wood, so far. You know, the security services will be doing everything they can to keep him safe. But if he doesn't come to the coronation, and he has suggested that he wouldn't come if things were as toxic as he felt they were around the Queen's funeral, then I think, considering it's the most important day of his father's life, to not be there, it's inconceivable to me. But
is there a historical precedent for this? I know how much you love this sort of history. That's what we need to think about here. It's not just like you need to go to your dad's big special function. This is the King's coronation. If he doesn't turn up, that's a huge blight in the books.
Edward VIII did not go to the Queen's coronation, but yes, it is a blight. But I think we also have to remember that this isn't just a family shindig. It's not a private family affair. It is a massive state occasion, and this is about the King and Queen Consort being crowned. Now, I think Harry and Meghan are going to dominate headlines either way. If they don't come, that's all anyone's going to talk about. If they do come, it's going to be the body language expert saying what every little moment that is caught in one shot. I think, and who knows at this point, I suspect Harry will fly in for the ceremony itself.
Solo.
Solo, I think so. And then I think he'll hightail it out of there. You may remember at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, they were at the service at St Paul's Cathedral. They did go to Trooping the Colour, but they didn't go to the concert, and they were on a plane back to LA before the pageant had even finished on the final
Staying
day.
in the history books.
Yes.
We have so many questions for you, Victoria. We haven't even brought up Prince Andrew and his book, so we're going to have to chat to you again soon.
I look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great to see you.
Welcome back. The Duke of Sussex is accusing the royal family of withholding information from him as he appeared in a London court on day 2 of hearings into a phone hacking lawsuit.
Lawrence Mussey is following the story from London. Lauren, good morning to you. Good evening, London time. The claim emerged in a witness statement.
Yeah, and quite an explosive witness statement at that. The Duke alleging that it is his duty to expose what he is calling a big cover-up. Prince Harry, along with 6 other high-profile people, including actress Elizabeth Hurley and Sir Elton John, have this lawsuit out against Associated Newspapers, that is the parent company of the Daily Mail in the UK, the group alleging that newspaper was using illegal phone taps and other illegal methods in order to obtain information. Now, this hearing in itself is very much based around the written evidence, which is why we've seen these witness statements made public today by the High Court here in London. I want to show you a little bit more of Prince Harry's. He says, "I am bringing this claim because I love my country and I remain deeply concerned by the unchecked power, influence and criminality of Associated. The evidence I have seen shows that Associated's journalists are criminals with journalistic powers which should concern every single one of us." He's certainly not mincing his words there.
No, but he's absolutely right, I think. I mean, we have heard for the first time as well some specific allegations.
Yeah, these came from Liz Hurley in her witness statement. This is the first time, as you say, that we've heard very specific details. She alleges that during the time she was together with Hugh Grant, that her phone conversations were being recorded. She says that came in the form of a private investigator who she claims was hired by the Daily Mail. She says he was hiding cassette tapes in the junction boxes of phone lines so that he could tape recordings, as well as accessing her medical records, and also says she found a sticky window mic on the window of her London home that was recording conversations. Now, all of this, the Daily Mail outright denies ever happened, and this hearing right now, this 4-day hearing, is about establishing whether or not the case should move forward. So still another 2 days to go. We'll see what happens with that and whether or not this case will in fact proceed to trial.
It's a big move, big brave move from Harry, given that he's always complaining about press intrusion. To be out there like that, it is ballsy, that's for sure. Good on you, Lauren.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
That never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?